Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Surviving Hollywood. I'm Johnny Ray Diaz.
I am Aaron Arnold.
I'm Austin Arnold.
And first of all, hope you guys are doing good out there. We just sat down with an amazing guest, actor, life coach, DaJuan Johnson. You might recognize him on Bosch. He's been on there for multiple seasons.
Well, 46 out of the 50 episodes, so almost near every episode.
Almost every single one. Officer Rondell Pierce on the show. And he's also been on Grey's Anatomy. He's been on Suits.
Emmy nominated.
Worked on a really cool. Not Emmy nominated quite necessarily. He clarified that.
Yes, it was an Emmy push. Like his episode was at a certain level where it was like almost. Yes. He almost won the Emmy.
He had people on the TV Academy that were able to vote for him as possibly being nominated for an Emmy. But still good, still really good.
The network came to him and said, "Hey, we're pushing this to get an Emmy." So
yeah,
pretty
close. But what I really liked about him is, I think you kind of talked about this, Aaron, is like his state, right? Like it's just his state, his positivity. Like I think that was one of his coolest attributes, right?
You can tell right away whether this guy's a great actor, but whether he's a good actor or not, you can tell right away that just based on his presence, this is a guy you want to work with and you feel confident in.
And definitely for our actors out there in the audience, we not only talk about how you develop a character over doing multiple seasons on a show like Bosch, but also how you up your agent or how he escalated his agent, how you get your agent to ask for more money. So any working actors out there or up and coming actors, I think this is a good episode.
And I actually, one of the best parts is he shared some trade secrets, if you want to call it, about sending certain things to casting people that even writer rooms. I thought that was genius. So there's some really cool stuff. If you listen to the episode, you're going to pick up some really cool tips and tricks that I think will actually show you got to treat this as a business, right?
Roll it.
I'ma survive. I'ma survive. I'ma survive. I'ma survive. Hollywood.
DaJuan, I'm Austin. Aaron, we're co-hosts on here. Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah, you as well. I'm glad you guys got your names there. Austin. Okay, got it. Perfect.
And three of us were on Bosch. Can you guess which one of us wasn't?
Oh, this is a good one. Well, I know Johnny, so and it must be you, Austin, right?
I was what?
You were on Bosch because you said three of us was on Bosch,
dude,
right?
You recognized me. Yes, dude, exactly. Yep. I was in last season for 2 episodes. I played Mimi Rogers' receptionist when they were
yes. Did your hair look like that?
It was slicked back, but kind of.
Okay. I was
like,
wait a minute.
Hold on. Give us the line. What was the line again? Dude, come on.
You know what, guys? Not the season you're filming right now. I'll get on the next season, though.
Oh, okay. The one where we're done.
Yeah.
There's still time this season, so.
Oh, cool.
There you go, man.
Again, really, my apologies. I botched that one. I should have just rescheduled it beforehand. My bad.
No worries, dude. Did you go audition to go well? Hopefully.
Yeah, it went well, but then I was trying to get it to my people, and you're like, that's all stuff. So it's all good now. My bad.
Those sort of like nitty gritty business side of the industry, you're on the right podcast to talk about it. So we don't have to talk about that, but generally that's what our audience wants to know about.
Okay, I'm in. Whatever you guys want, we're here.
Yes.
I'm not taking my clothes off. I'm not taking my shirt off. I've done that before. I don't like those podcasts.
You're not wearing pants though, right? Because that's the rule in this podcast.
Why would you?
I'm not wearing pants. No, actually, that audition you got, because I know you messaged me. It was kind of a last minute thing, right?
Well, listen, that's not last minute anymore, right? Like last minute is 24 hours. Does that make sense? And so it's one of those things that, it is last minute, but we need to start planning for that from now on. Like that's going to be the new norm. So I don't want to say it's last minute because we need to all be prepared there.
Right.
They actually gave you plenty of time.
Actually, they were being nice to me. They should just give me the role.
So maybe Johnny knows this, but how long have you been acting? Have you been in LA for your whole life?
No. I am a LA's home now, right? So one of the things, I moved here, I don't like to give a number about how long. Now I'll tell you why. You think it's about like actor age stuff. You're like, oh, I don't want to give my number. But no, it's not that. It's because, being a coach out there, I've worked with a lot of actors. And one of the things that I see, as soon as I put a number on it, you start sizing your number up to my number. And then all of a sudden, my number makes you feel a certain way. Right. And so I don't want to put that out there for actors. I just say that I've been out here for a bit of time. And that way nobody compares, if that makes sense. It's size matters, guys.
It does. But, no, I think it's good you said that, though, because a lot of times I will put my number out there because I feel like it is sort of like a benchmark, right? You kind of measure it toward the standard of like, oh, well, this person's been here for 15 years and this is how long it took them to get to this. Well, I've only been here for 5, so I still have 10 more years. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, but also you think about that in reverse, Johnny. What happens is your mind now is working on this 10-year plan that it can kind of have this space. Instead of like, if you have your own plan about how long you can be out here or what you can do it in a year or 2 years, you're actively seeking, I'm going to do this in a year or 2, right? But if I tell you 15, you have this span of like, well, I can kick back. And I can do it. It took DaJuan, whatever many years, or Johnny, or Austin. And so it's like, then we feel it's, I just work a little bit different that way, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, you've obviously worked on like a good handful of really awesome stuff, but I would say probably Bosch.
Wow. Is that
what
good?
Most people.
It's like a big handful, just
a handful. Well, great stuff, man.
That's like 5.
I'd say a great
handful is.
Thank you, Aaron.
Plentiful projects, plentiful. But I would say Bosch is probably what most people recognize you from, right?
No.
No, it's not? Okay. All right.
Bones, probably.
No, it's so funny. I get noticed the most, and this is a true story. I did this independent like film straight to video with Ving Rhames.
Okay.
And it's called Caged Animal. It's this jail scene where I'm in prison scene, I should say, where I'm a blue collar guy that gets, in jail with these people who are doing like some rough stuff. And I end up getting like jail raped, right? And there's this whole thing. There's people who are always, I'm like, oh, I'll see them. I'm at checking into a hotel. And they're like, oh, yeah, I remember you from. And I was like, oh, yeah, I am on Bosch. They're like, no, the prison movie. And I'm like, oh, that's what, I hear all my friends are all, you ask any of my friends around me, they're like, they're laughing. Yeah.
So, what was it like getting raped? What was it like getting raped? And were you raped by Ving Rhames? Is that what it was?
No, it wasn't.
Right,
it was just they were really just trying to show like the prison, how it's not as safe for everybody, right? And so it was just one of those. It was a really it sounds, of course, rape. We can't, that is what it is, but we can't, prison rape. I don't know. Is that a term? Am I saying that right? I don't want to know about
definitely.
it.
I think so. Yeah.
My expert opinion is, you're saying it right.
How about this? Rape in prison. There we go. That feels better. There we go.
There we go.
They shone a light on that, and I thought it was pretty well done the way they did it. And here's another key fact about that: Nipsey Hussle was in that.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Nice.
And that's when I met Nipsey Hussle.
So you got to work with him. Cool.
I didn't get to work with him. I got to eat lunch with him.
I see. Something.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Well, so Bosch obviously has been a big part of your life, I would say, right? And I think you have kind of mentioned this story in the group that you coach in the Think Bigger tribe, right? Mm-hmm. You've kind of talked about how in the pilot, was it essentially supposed to be just a day player and then it evolved into a series regular, or how did that whole thing kind of come about, or what happened?
Yeah. So the pilot, I was uniform officer number 1. That I have a picture somewhere on one of my Instagrams or something like that, going from uniform officer number 1 to, Detective Pierce. One of the cool things about that, I was supposed to just go in for that day for the pilot. And I would say now that's what I thought, right? I wasn't recurring. I wasn't doing anything more than just that day. And before I booked it, we got a name on it. I was like, I don't want to do this if I don't get a name. I know I've already done enough of, airport man number 7s.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, cool guy. I've already done that. I don't want to do it anymore. And so they came back with Officer Rondell Pierce. at that time. And I thought they were fucking with me. Can I say fucking? I don't know if that's
you can say it. You can say whatever you want.
Fuck yeah, you can.
Well, I thought they were fucking with me because I was like, do you guys know anybody named Rondell? I was like, oh, they're just now because I stepped out and said, I want a name. They came back and they were like, right. Yeah. And I was like, all right, cool, fine.
And I don't know anybody with Rondell. That's, is that?
Yeah, right?
Does anybody have that name or?
No, like ever. I've never met a Rondell. Shout out to all the Rondells out there. And so I did the pilot. I did it with Titus, Bosch. And, I remember going in there and doing this. And I was like, I'm going to go in there, give my best to this. I'm with the number one on the call sheet. Let's just do this. And, we went to see the screening of it when it was all done. And I remember them pulling me aside. We were on the stairs in this theater in the Soho House. And they were like, DaJuan, it was a pleasure cutting your footage. And they were like, it was just so wonderfully done. And I was like, thank you. I was like, well, if you need a cop, I'll be around. They're like, we'll be seeing more of you. We'll be seeing so much. And I was like, you're right. Because I thought that's what everybody said. Right. But, we hear that so much. We'll hear so much. We'll see you. And I ended up doing 6 episodes that first season. Recurring on the first season. I didn't do too much on the second season. I think I did second season. I did like 2 or 3 episodes. And then in the third season, they upped me. They said, we're imagining a world with a little bit more of Pierce in it. And I was like, I am too.
Yeah.
And it's been upping, since there.
Since then, right. Well, it's been cool because I've seen every episode now. It's been cool to see your character sort of evolve from that first episode, sort of just like this kind of like rookie cop in a way, to like now being a full-fledged detective and everything. So it's been cool that they've taken that character and really fleshed it out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Were you part of the process? Did they kind of like talk to you about like, where do you see him going? Or was it all writers that just took care of all that?
All writers, they took care of that. There's a producer that's on set with us all the time, supervising producer. He was starting out, moving up to in the writer's room. That he kind of likened me to himself, and so we talked a little bit about that. I knew where Pierce was going, but a lot of that was really on me. If you like just wait for somebody to tell you how you're going to act or how this is going to hit you, then I think you might be in like this. It puts it in a weird hierarchy, right? So every season that I came back with an intention. My highest commitment was to make Pierce different each season. Like, what is his through line here? So when I got upped in season 3, I was, again, the rookie detective, right? And I was kind of like being shown the ropes. When I came back in season 4, I was trying to get my own footing. I was standing up. I was with my partner, and I was like, this no more rookie. I'm in the middle here, and I'm trying to go out on my own 2 feet. That's when I went out and started investigating by myself. Great season for me. Season 5, I came back, and I was like, there's no change on this. I'm going for confidence. How does Pierce walk differently? All that stuff you start adding in there so that you personally can have your own growth. Sure, what they're writing, they're giving you scripts as they come along, but if you don't know where it's going, you have to still, like, at the end of the day, this show will end, right? And it's still going to be our career when these shows end. So what do we want to say we left behind? What do we want to use to move forward with? And I just think about that a lot.
Was there something specifically that you felt like you brought or you did in that first episode that made them feel like we need to bring this character back?
Johnny. Maybe.
What was it? Did you talk with
case closed?
You connect with certain people on set, or I don't know. That's a good question.
Here's I don't know any of this to be true, right? I can tell you what I do know to be true, and I can tell you what I think had a lot of impact with, right? The thing I believe during the first season that I think actors don't do, I think just say people in general don't do, is I acted like this was my show. I acted like I was one of the leads on the show when I was just a co-star, and you could see me on social media promoting it. I remember I actively would sit on social media and follow the people who were following Bosch, the fans, and thank them for watching the show. And and so they would see who I was, come back and follow me. And it was like this whole thing. And I had this whole plan of like, this is my show too. Right. And so I say what a lot of actors, what we don't do is we worry about what other people are going to think about us. Right. We're worried about like, oh, we don't want the other actors who aren't giving us a job worrying about what they're going to think if I'm out there promoting, saying that I'm like big time on this show when I'm only have a couple of lines on that. It takes a lot to get a co-star on a show. Do you know what I mean? They're not just giving them out there. I booked that show, and by damn, everybody was going to come and know I saw, see me on that show. Yeah. And so I remember putting it out there, and one of the big things I think that happened is it also made me very visible to the directors, to the creators, to the producers, to the writers. And so because they're also on social media, we think, oh gosh, it's just these people and fans. No, they saw it too. So I was already in their zeitgeist. You know what I mean? Like I was out there in their orbit. It wasn't just somebody who came in, did their job and left, which I did a good job. But, also I was pimping their show as well.
And you think the higher ups noticed that? Like you think?
Oh, absolutely noticed it. They absolutely noticed it, and I mean, there's other business stuff that I would do behind closed doors. We'll talk about in just a second, but like, yes, they noticed that social media stuff. Yes, Michael Connelly started following me, like, you know what I mean? Or interacting with me. Michael Connelly, creator of like, you know what I mean? Of the show. Henrik, who's who's Hold Fast Productions, the executive producer of our series. Like those are people that started, like, if you're promoting their show, why not? Right? Like, but we're out there like, I just want want them to choose me. Yeah. I don't have time for that. Right? To wait to be chosen. I'm going to choose this. And so I went out there and did a lot of that, which was very, very important. The thing I do know for sure is after being visible in season 2, and I think it's this part of the series called The End of Watch, Johnny. If you remember when something happens to my partner in season 2, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
I just said something happens. I didn't tell you what.
Yeah.
And so when something happens to there was a scene, my ex-partner, there was a scene where I had no lines, right? I had no lines and the camera was just on me when I found out whatever I found out. And the producers have said that we saw that and we thought we could give him more. Could give him more. And that's when they came and upped me after that. I have that picture somewhere on social media because I think it's so.
I know what you're talking about. It's you hear on the radio.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I don't want to say too much. Yeah.
But that you hear that something happened to him and it's like.
Yeah. And it's all of the stuff that's happening inside for me. No lines that help them think like, great, we could give this guy more. So I do know that to be true. Right. And I was just going to add, I don't know if I'm talking too much, let me know. Cause I love this stuff.
We want you to talk a lot. We want you to talk a lot. Don't stop.
One of the things that the business side of these things, again, I believe when we start treating this like a business and we stop worrying about what other people, our actors are thinking about us, our friends or our people or people we don't know, like we get into this business mode. And one of the things I did starting season 3 on, I didn't do it this season. One of this seasons, COVID. I send the writer's room, the producers, personalized cookies every season when they start writing. I know you've seen them. And it's one of those things that they expect.
Now, do the cookies have like your face on the cookie so they don't forget you?
They do.
Do they really?
Yes, they do.
We'd like a few of those cookies.
Did they come in a vegan version? Does it come in a vegan version? That's what I want to know.
I'm sure they do. Right? But the cookies.
That's super creative.
Yeah. I don't make them. Like I gotta.
But it's a creative gesture.
And so like you just see they don't all have my headshot on them or something like that, but some of them have like scenes from the show that they print on the cookies. It's really intricate cookies. Like they're really, really cool.
So you do that to differentiate yourself. It's like they're always thinking of you when you get that when they get that gift. That's creative.
And it goes to the writer's room when they start writing.
So if they got a really good line, if there's a really tight line, they're like, well,
who should we give this line to? Well, let's see what the cookie says.
Who should we kill off? Not DaJuan. We got cookies coming back.
Yeah, we want these cookies.
That's actually super cool.
How do you get
go ahead.
How do you get the address for the writer's room?
What do you mean?
Well,
it's to the headquarters.
If I wanted to send a writer's room, you send it to the headquarters.
If you're on the show, you're nowhere.
Right, you're on the show though. It's different.
Wow, guys, he just asked him a question. You guys like
my next co-star, I want to do that. I just don't know the address.
How do you know how to email the PA? You know, it's a
yeah.
Well, see, it's also, that's a difference. So, remember, I didn't start that until season 3. So, but season 1 or 2, I was sending like a thank you to the casting office, right? I was sending like here's something where I know I can get into there, right? And don't be afraid to like just say thank you to people, like, because in gratitude, like, I am so happy to be on your show. Thank you. It's nothing. If I die off, I tell them every season, we're in 7 now, but I tell them, hey, if it's my turn to die, just make it glorious. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not going to sit there and be like, please don't kill me. No, if it's my time to die, it's my time to die on the show. Yeah. Not in life. Can I stay a little longer?
Absolutely, right. A spin-off series, maybe a spin-off, guys? Is that too much?
Oh, I hope so.
No, it's cool. It's cool that you do that, because I've done similar things to that myself. I remember when I haven't done this recently, but I remember when I guest starred on NCIS, was my first guest star. I gave thank you cards to everybody on the set, EP, director, writer, everyone that I was actively involved with, even the makeup department. And I remember giving one even to like Mark Harmon and the EP on the show. And Mark was like, oh man, come in my trailer, dude. Let's talk for a little bit. And like, we actually just chatted for a little while, which I thought with him was really cool. And then he actually, like, weeks later, he sent me like a handwritten letter, like saying that was really thoughtful of you. And, I know you're going to do some great things. And it's like, it's like little things like that, I think, do go a long way in a sense. You know what I mean? So it's cool that you're actively doing that, even though you're a regular on the show, which is nice to hear.
It's a small business, man. I mean, it's these people, the show, we're ending in 3 months. We'll be done. We'll be done. Right. Yeah. They're going to go like this, that writer's room will go like this, right? They'll go everywhere. And you want to be in those spaces, right? Or the directors are going to go places. So it's just, it's a good thing just to send out gratitude whenever you can. That's just where it comes first, but also it's just a good business move.
Yeah. I was actually kind of curious because I think we think about things like this too. Mm-hmm. As you being a regular on the show, I often wonder myself, especially when I'm just coming there for a few days, it's completely different. What is it like for you guys as a regular on the show when you're getting material? Like, do you often get material that day, all of a sudden it changed within 30 minutes? How do you handle when material changes so quickly and being able to adapt? Is it kind of just normal things you just get used to over time, or how does that kind of work?
Yeah. So real quick, I always like to clarify, because I'm big. My core is honesty, right? I like to. That's one of my core values, is making sure. So I'm a top of show recurring guest. Okay. So I'm there. Just make sure I do 10 out of 10 episodes. Yeah.
You're pretty much there. I see what you're saying though. But yeah.
If you know how the industry's working right now, your top of show guests that are there the whole season are your series regulars, but with lower pay, right? That's how they're doing it now. We understand that, but I want to make sure for context, like we're talking about that. We're getting a lot of material at all times. Do you know what I mean? Here, I got there's 4 scripts we got going, and we're just moving and we're getting it. I think one of the best things you can do is immediately, one, they're not going to change it if they haven't sent you pages, right? So you should be getting pages, or you should be getting a new script at least before you get there. Just at least before you get there. But it could be on your way there, but it should be like you should already have that. One of the things I do, even to this day, 7 seasons in, soon as I get in my trailer, I check out the baby sides, I call them. The little sides, because if anything's changed, I need to know it before I jump into it. And to your question, this is a muscle now, right? Like picking up the audition sides or picking up other things, it's a muscle where I can pick this stuff up and I can run it a couple times and I start getting it in my body quicker than any other time. So I think when you go to we used to go to sitcom tapings, or we see people on sets, like they pick it up faster because we're doing it a lot more.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And a question that's our audience asks a lot, because they like to know, behind the camera as well as in front of the camera stuff. How does the pay work? Like when you go from just a co-star to a couple episodes to then recurring, does your agent handle all that? Generally speaking, what's it like?
Yeah. So I want to give me more of give me more details on that question. Like, are you saying like you want to know numbers? Like, are we? I just want to know like what do you mean by?
I want to know, does your agent come to you and say, I think we can ask for this much? Is it standard 10% or
after a few years, do you go like, I think like now we're at a different level?
Yes to all of it. Yes to all of it. You know, one of the big questions is that I guess if anybody listening to this, I want to go on record and say, remember that this is a negotiation. I think actors, we forget, myself included, at the very beginning, that it is a negotiation. And so standard is, let's say, $800 for a co-star, you know, but as you move up and you've done 10 co-stars, you should be able to move and ask for $1,200 or ask for $1,500, right? I think we think as actors, as soon as we ask, they're going to say no and move on from us and go to the next person. No, this is what the negotiation is, right? If they come back with their final answer, that's all they're going to do. That's different. But before that, ask for what you want, you know, move the needle that way. And yes, if you have a great team, they will also help you start to negotiate that and move that around so that you personally are not doing any of the asking, by the way, guys, you know, but you have to sit on that side and like, well, I want this much and I think I deserve this much. So if they're not going to give it, we might have to walk. You know what I mean? And that's hard for actors to hear. You know what I mean? That's hard for us to, especially in the middle of a pandemic. You're like,
yeah, you're not going to walk if you're like, have been on a, you know, it's like, it's hard to walk. I mean, you could.
No, it's not.
No, it's not? It's not?
No, man, no, it's not. You have to understand, like when you start working on something, you start to understand that there's a lot of money out there, right? What we're getting is such a sliver of what they're like. We're in 41 countries with Bosch, like or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like the Brazilian peers has connected with me. He's like, I'm you in Brazil.
Yeah, you are. But like going from like season 2 to season 3, where there's just a little bit more uncertainty.
But that's different. That's different. That's what I'm saying. So yes, you wouldn't do it with the co-star. You might not, but you still get to ask. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah,
I could already tell. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I just want to make sure I say that to my fellow actors out there because that's something I did not know. I thought I was very scared that as soon as I said, like, no, I think we should go for, you know, $3,000, they're going to be like, no, we can't do it. Bye, DaJuan. Right. We're going to go. And that's what you carry around. That is not how negotiations work. And these are negotiations. Go ahead, Aaron. Right. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I could already tell, like, something that I like about you as a person, I'm sure this differentiates you as an actor, is your state of being. Just, you have a great state. I'm sure this is the way you show up in auditions and on set. Is that something you had to develop, or is that something you have naturally, or is that something you teach?
Yeah, tell me more about what you mean by state first.
Your attitude, that what you're putting off is not something of defeat. It's something of confidence. It's something that people want to be around. And that's something that a lot of times I think like it's easy to get defeated, and it's easy to think you're like something is going wrong, especially, I mean, you know what I mean, but like you
in like an audition for sure.
Or even on set, you have it dialed in, and I can already tell like you're bringing something good to the table. Like I feel confident.
Well, there is a confidence in our acting, right? But I think like every actor out there, we have our pitfalls. But one of the things that I think that I've just worked really, really hard on is just having my tools so that I don't stay solo so long, right? You know what? Just last week, I got some awful, perceived awful news in the industry. Like, do you know what I mean? I lost 2 big things that I really wanted. Oh, it still hurts. But I have to understand, like, what am I upset about? So I could stay there and I can mope around in that. Or I could be like, all right, cool. This commercial, you're not going to get paid as much as you thought you're going to get paid off of this commercial, right? So great. So what do we need to do? This is about money. Like, oh, great. Let's go make more money.
Did you always have that? Did you always have that, or is that something you had to develop?
Develop. That's not something I come with.
Really?
I come from I come from a society, a culture. My part of the world, my nook, where my family is. We're a very oppressive, depressive. I'm from Miami. I'm just saying, like my unit, my family. You know, there's always like a negative loop going on. Like you know,
it's too hard. It's too hard. You're not going to be able to do it. Things like that.
Yeah. Why are you going out there to be an actor? Like, why did you be like a doctor? So where this all started, to really answer your question, Aaron, it started when I was 18 in college, and I started reading a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. And it was my first journey. Don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. It's my first journey into mindset and really working on that. And it's something that I actively have to do every day, right? And actively have to think, you know, how do I take care of myself? Okay, you got this news. Do you want to like be down about this? You didn't get that part. All right, cool. I can let myself be down about that for a little bit, but let's get back up and keep moving, you know, because this isn't the stuff that my self-worth is wrapped up in.
I just think regardless of how well you did the audition, and obviously you're a great actor because I've seen your reel and a bunch of stuff and you're great, but like regardless how the audition is, like you coming into a room, being yourself, I'd book you just off that.
I think I'm definitely fun to be with on set, you know, but I want to be clear that it's not like a toxic positivity. It's just
you're down to play, you're open-minded. You're not the annoying funny guy, but.
No, but I don't like to be fucked with either. Like I'm like, I know my thing. I'm like, no, we're not gonna do that. Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, you have to. This industry is a very interesting beast.
And I want to just kind of touch on this briefly because you did mention it earlier. At what point did you feel like was the right moment to like sort of, you know, up the representation to kind of make that jump essentially?
Times, right? I think there's a little bit of, again, I'm going to just talk about myself here because you asked me. I was very loyal, right? I was very loyal to my reps. And
because we do feel that way sometimes. We're like, they got me this. I don't want to just,
that sounds positive.
You know?
but I think you could be loyal to a fault here, right? And so I remember I was with my, one of my managers who had gotten me on Bosch, you know what I mean? And I knew it was time to leave, but I stayed. And I was just like, I can't make this jump. I need to make this jump. And until like his life imploded a little bit. And finally, you know, he ended up dropping me after I've been wanting to drop him for 2 years. And I tell you that piece just to say, like, you know, sometimes we know we need to move on, not because of what everybody else is saying, but really we understand that jump we want to make, that quantum leap we want to make is going to take us doing something a little bit different, going to take us showing up in a different way. And my last agent, who I absolutely adore, I loved this guy, these guys. I really wish we could be together because somebody you want to grab a beer with, right? But they didn't have the pull to get me where I needed to go. And so I had to leave that person. It was like tears on the phone. You know, well, because it's not that when people invest in your career.
I'd send the email. I'd chicken out and just send the email.
but then they call you, and then what are you going to ignore the call? You gotta do it.
I got to tell you, I have never broken up with any of, and I've been with probably like a dozen, any of my reps over email. Because I always ask myself, how do I want to show up in my business? And if you've spent years on my career, we've been in the minutia together, I would want a phone call. You know what I mean? And so as hard as it is for me for those 5 minutes, one manager, the call dropped and we had to call back. I was like, fuck. Yeah, so where were we? That was awful.
Yeah.
But,
geez.
Yeah. You know, like that way. And I know when it is time to move on. But give it some time too, guys. Like, give it a little bit of time, because we think just because it's not working within 6 months, we're out of here. We're deuces. They're probably just getting our hand. I mean, if it's like crickets, you can't get a phone call back, then that's different. But if you're open communication, you know, it's flowing. Give it some time before you jump ship on people, you know, because when the tables turned, we don't want people to drop us so early, right? We're like, no, the auditions and all that stuff. Of course, I've been on 30 and I haven't booked it, but but it's okay. Just give people a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And how did you find the next representation? Is it referrals seems to be like the easiest, best way to find somebody you like. How did you do it?
It's not the easiest. I think this is the best way, because I think this is like, we're in an industry that's based off of relationships and referrals. Right. And so if you can have somebody vouch for you, if you can have somebody you've worked with, pass your materials on, I think it's the best way. And if you are in this business for a couple of years and you don't have anybody that can vouch for you, that one person or something, I think you got to like step back and let's re-examine it. And now when I say that, I don't know, there's not a director you worked with, a casting director you can pass yourself on, another actor that can help you out, like somebody who's like, baby cousin's mom that you worked with before, like somebody should be able to vouch for you in the industry by that time. And so my next level agents that I got at this part of my career were from referrals of like casting directors, referrals of like, execs and stuff like that. Were backing me.
That had relationships and stuff like that. Yeah. That makes sense. By the way, I do want to say congrats on being nominated for an Emmy. Right? The guest star. That was for Grace, right?
So that is pretty cool.
Right?
So again, in the interest of being honest.
Explain.
Of being honest, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see that. Can you see, like, is this visual?
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Super up there in the corner. No, not Super Dad. Over there in the far corner of this. Hold on. Like I said, that's my Emmy campaign thing there. You see that? I
not as high as your Bass
Pro Shop. It was a voting to be nominated, right?
Yes.
Is that what it was? Voting to be nominated. That's right.
Yes.
I'm part of TV Academy, and I remember now.
Yes.
That there was you can vote for who's going to be nominated, right? Okay.
Right. And I like.
But you were up there. You were up there.
Well, it was specifically for that scene that I saw on your website, right? On Grey's Anatomy.
Yes. For the recurring on Grey's, it's great. And it was an ABC backed campaign, right? So ABC, backed me on that, for guest star.
I don't understand how that works. So how does ABC back you for the campaign? What's that like? I don't understand.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it great? Let's go on a field trip, right? Like, can we go on a field trip on this? Let's go on a move. If I lose, you're not going to go anywhere. And so,
you were part of the ABC Talent Showcase, right?
See that? This is ABC sends out these things, and it has my name right there.
Yeah, I do remember seeing that because I get those as a member of the TV Academy.
It's a screener.
Yeah.
So they do that. I
remember seeing that.
That's my wall that he's talking about, my Bosch wall.
Ah, nice, man.
But what that means by ABC, so when ABC, did you see my, because I was naked on the bottom. I hope I
didn't want to say anything. I wasn't going to point it out.
Anybody. This is not a mic. When I say ABC backed is, so basically ABC also sends out screeners and send out campaign material. So they put me, they put my name and all that stuff.
How do you get that to happen? Because obviously that's something everybody wants. How do you make that happen?
Well, you be a good actor.
Oh, that's it? That's awesome. So you don't have to do anything. If you're seen, if the people on the show deem this a quality scene and you're in that scene, it's like all of a sudden you get picked up in that. That's dope.
Because.
But you got to bring the goods on that scene.
Yeah, the easy answer is if you think about Grey's Anatomy, 23 episodes, right? A crap ton of guest stars. Like, who are they going to back? They have 5 guest stars up there. Do you know what I mean? And so they're backing the ones they think that are going to be.
Now, I don't watch Grey's Anatomy all the time, but I have seen plenty of episodes. And a lot of shows, doctor shows, involve people, feeling bad about the person in the hospital. and your scene is really good, but how is that different from any other scene,
Again, Aaron, like, it's just the
This is a stupid
acting.
question, Aaron. Yes, the acting, my friend.
It's
it was really good. I was just
crying
wondering.
all the time. It was like boo woo. No, you know what, man? That's a great question, and you'd have to ask the ABC execs, like, why do they choose these 5 people, right? Because it is a little bit formulaic, I think, what you're saying. Yeah, but the best thing I can say is I think everybody who probably was on that show was fantastic. I just got a chance to bring it a little bit stronger.
And I think in that scene that I watched, it did pop, but It is a little bit formulaic. I was just wondering,
Yeah, I understand. I'm not offended by it because don't cry for me, Argentina. I'm on a show.
But that is pretty cool that you were part of, in consideration, I guess you would say, for a nomination. It's amazing because very few people can say that. One, and
I think you should have won.
Two, I was going to say is, does anything change for you in terms of career-wise? Is there something that, you know, does it feel like the career sort of elevated after that a little bit?
This is a great question. And just to also add into this, I also was, we did a digital series for YouTube that was nominated, that I was the lead in, that was nominated for a Daytime Emmy as well. So I went to the Daytime Emmys and did that as well.
What was that called?
That was called The New 30.
Okay.
And that's on there. So New 30, and that's fantastic as well. And that was great to like see your face up on the big screen as they're showing the clip, as they're getting ready to announce it. You're holding your breath. That is like one of those moments of like, oh, this is what we've been dreaming about. If we're being honest with ourselves, right, guys? Yeah. We're like, oh, that's what I want to be doing. And so that's great. Yeah. I think to answer your question, Johnny, that we always are trying to figure out how can we keep positioning things to work for us, right? And the best thing I can say about that is it helped me get my next level agents.
Okay.
You know, that all happened right in this time where I could be like, great, how do we use this? How do I move forward with this? And that's something that's always going to be coming with me. You know what I mean? As I move forward, people just know Grey's Anatomy. They know my scene. Another thing I did, that stuff you see up there was stuff that I did myself. Not the ABC part, but the other the screener parts, that were the DVDs that I personally sent to all casting directors in the casting Directors Association for America, CSA or something like that.
Yeah,
that I sent out there, and that was a move that I did on purpose because it's like, great, you know what? I might not win this. I hope I do. I'm going to work hard on this campaign. But if I have this option to send screeners to over 300, members, casting director members of the whatever association, I want to make sure that my face gets out there and they see that. And so the first part of that is just my face. Like, do you know what I mean? So I positioned it as a great marketing tool for myself to utilize it that way. So when people see that, they're like, oh, cool. DaJuan, they put it together. And I guess the last thing I would say to that is right after those screeners hit, a week later, I was offered a role on Narcos.
So Johnny did Narcos.
By the way, I just worked on it this year. So where's it this season? I'm assuming, right?
No, I did. The season that just aired. Mexico, right?
Narcos. Yeah, Narcos, Mexico. Awesome.
Yeah. Great.
Dude, okay, so hold on a second. I'm trying to think. I haven't finished watching this season yet, so maybe I haven't seen you yet.
No, it's okay.
No, but I was wondering because that's why I just worked on the season that got postponed, COVID era.
Okay, yeah.
But that's why I was wondering, like, I'm not finished yet on that season. But what was your character on that?
I played DEA agent, right?
Nice.
It was one of these things that, like, if you watch it, if you look at it, it's like I'm in it for, I don't know, less than a minute, right?
Now, did you request a name for your character?
I won't do those without names now. So I'm
not
gonna.
He's past agent.
Just
one,
making sure.
Agent number one.
That was a joke, but yes, I'm not going to. Like, they're not going to come to me. They're not going to come to me and say, "Can you do agent?" I'm not going to do it.
Okay,
like, they already know.
Sure.
They're already hitting those things out, and I don't even see that.
How easy is it for a production just to give you a name, though? Right? It's like it could be the same character as long as they give you a name.
It's a little bit harder than you think, right? They have to go back and they have to check all that stuff with writers, and does this match up with all their stories, or if they're going as an. It's a little bit harder than it is to just say, like, let's just call him Chris. But we have a Chris coming up who's going to be killing. It's a little bit more wrapped up than it is, but
it's easy if you're DaJuan, but for us,
I think. I don't know.
Just kidding.
I will say that, but you look at that, and I'm in it for like a minute of it, and that's still a top of show guest. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's still your top of show guest that's making, whatever top of show guests make for that network.
Right.
So
that's cool. That's really cool. I feel like that's the dream, and in some senses, just to get it like an offer only, like not even, it's just like, it's cool, right?
Well, it's just cool, but like, the interesting thing about Narcos, and that it's already out there, so I can talk about it. Was that I didn't get a script before I got there. Like, it was on my way there because they're very secretive. Like,
if it helps, I didn't get one either.
Yeah,
I had no idea even what I was doing.
Right, and so for me to like, I land in Mexico and like, it's beautiful. I'm there. They put me up in this thing for a week. It's great. And then I get a script. When I called and asked for it, I was like, I need a script. Do you guys want me to say words? Yeah. And then I see it and I'm like, what? Why didn't my people ask about like this? Because I would not have done that role. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Now, Johnny has a similar thing because he showed up, he didn't know anything, and he showed up in the costuming, and they were putting him in a suit or whatever. He's like,
not for Narcos, though.
That was a different show.
It was a different else. He was like, why would I wear a suit when I'm a jailbird? And they're like, oh, because you're a double agent. And Johnny's like, what the hell? I didn't even know.
That did happen to me on a different TV show. I won't say what show, but I was like, I couldn't get a script. I was on set and I'm like, guys, can I get the full episode so I know what's happening? Sorry, we don't do that. And I'm
didn't even know he was playing the good guy. He just thought he was playing a jailbird.
But unfortunately, that's just the way some of them roll. So
it is, but we can't look. I think we get so into our heads about like what do you call it, billing and stuff like that and whatever. But you look at that could have very well been a one-day co-star. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I personally would not have done it. Like that's, and that doesn't say anything about it. It's just there's a lot, plus I'm also, Narcos is going to go on for a little bit. I don't want to blow my wad on
a small role essentially. Yeah. In a way.
Yeah. So
there are no small roles. just kidding.
Okay.
No, I know what you mean. Hey, and to go along with some of these big things, Johnny and I were talking before you jumped on. I was saying how when I did Bosch, this sounds so cliche, but it's like a big family, how everybody knows each other by so many seasons. What's one thing when you are, first, second on the call sheet of a future show, like what's one thing you may have picked up from Titus or some of the other leads that you really are going to use?
Well, first of all, I'm the lead too. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
No, one of the things that we do really well in the show that I think that Titus sets the tone for, that I will definitely take with me, is understanding that we can have a good time between cut and action, right? But when it's action and cut, it's time to work. You know what I mean? And I think he does it really well by setting the tone of that show, the tone of that set. Him, Jamie, they do a very good job. They're number 1 and 2 on that, just setting the tone for the show. And I think I will also take that with me. But I will say one of the things that I try to do for all 7 seasons that we come in is that whenever anybody is on that set, whenever I walk on that show, I'm saying hi to everybody. Everybody, I'm talking to them. I remember them. Even if you're on our show for a day, like I want to make sure I say hi and thank you for being here. I say thank you to the extras. You know what I mean? Like I just want everybody to feel comfortable because I know what it's like to go into a set that people have been there for a while, and then you're just gonna sit there and it's like, no, come on in, talk to us. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's now it's a little bit tricky because we're also we have to stay in different
social distance.
Yeah, it's a little different there. But that's something I take. And I learned that years ago when I read an article, about 15 years ago, maybe. 15 years ago, I read an article that Tom Cruise did that. And I was like, he goes to everybody. And I started doing it like 15 years ago when I was shooting in Austin, a little independent film. And I remember thinking that like it changes everything because when it's midnight and you're trying to get that last shot and you're effing up because you're tired, the crew doesn't hate you. They're like, you got it, DaJuan. You know what I mean? And it also just breeds a better family there.
Right. I was going to also mention to you, I know you were part of the ABC Showcase. By the way, we have a mutual friend, Fiona Renee. Yeah. Good friend of mine. She told me to tell you hi because she called me the other day. Oh, and I mentioned you were coming on. She's like, oh, tell him I said hi. He's great.
Hello, Fiona.
Working on the ABC Showcase, how did that kind of expand on the career? I'm always curious, like going through that program itself, is it worth it? What they did for you, and essentially, or what it led to.
Yes. The answer would be yes, Aaron. Like it would all of it's worth it, right? Right. Like because it's all adding to our experience bank. You know what I mean? All adding to our collective career. And more than anything, it is a awesome business move, right? More than anything. We talked about cookies a little bit ago. ABC always gets a basket of cookies from me at the beginning of pilot season. whole basket of cookies with different shows on it. Sometimes it'll have my face on it from like Grey's Anatomy or whatever, but like that's all my basket of here's to a sweet pilot season. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And it's just me keeping in touch with them. So they know I did the showcase in 2014. 6 years later, these are still people that I want to keep in touch with because it's about relationships and referrals, right?
For sure.
And you think about this nut, Johnny, that all of those, let's say there's 10 ABC executives, I would say 7 of them have gone on to different networks. So now one of the networks that I've worked with there, she's off at NBC Universal. Amazon has one of the execs there. Do you know what I mean? It just, they've gone, CBS, Claudia Lyons, was at the ABC show, was one of our mentors. So they're all just going to different places. And yes, the answer is like, Grey's Anatomy, they had to approve me.
Right.
Agent Carter, they had to approve me. Like, you know what I mean? So stuff that comes on, they have to approve me. So it's like, ooh, I remember DaJuan, and they always want you to succeed.
What company makes those cookies with your face on?
Austin's like, I need to send these out tomorrow.
and the address for your writer's room.
Yeah.
I love it. I know, right? It's like, can you tell me about
and Titus's address? Is that
No.
I have to send you guys some pictures of these because you guys can't see them, can you?
I'd love to see what these look like, actually. I'm very curious.
You can share your screen.
Can I share my screen? I'll share. I'm going to pull some up so you kind of...
Don't dox yourself because we're not editing this, but...
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. So I won't. Don't. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. But
dox, it means like reveal personal information that once it's on the internet cannot be taken back. You should like address or something.
I won't do that.
DaJuan's an open book.
So here is a basket of cookies that I sent. Boom. So this is my ABC cookies.
Jack
so this
Ryan,
one does
love it.
Square cookies take a little bit more than circle cookies. That's nice.
Yes. Well, I have this here because I want to. All these shows are done by ABC or ABC Network Studios. Sorry, ABC Studios. So you think Daredevil was on Netflix, but it's also done by ABC Network. Sorry, ABC Studios.
Dude, those are awesome.
So these are all of like stuff like that. And so each one of these represents a show I want to be on. So I send that to them. They get that. Let me show you another one.
Well, no, was that you on the computer?
Yeah, that was you, right?
On one of those cookies?
Oh, wait, did you see that one?
Yeah, the top. There's one at the top and one at the bottom.
Oh, can you see all of these cookies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, that went away. Hold on.
You doxed them.
That's okay. So you see the Bosch cookies. Oh, what are you seeing? So, yes, that's me on the computer. That's a scene from Bosch, right? And so this basket here, went to Amazon Studios.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So this went to Amazon. Let's see if we have another one. Oh, see, I closed it. You guys couldn't see the other one that I was talking about.
Oh, okay, so we saw the different one.
This is ABC.
Right? Okay.
Nice.
Right. So this is like Daredevil. This is like all that stuff from ABC.
Wow, dude, those are awesome. Those are good.
Yeah, those look tasty too.
They're good.
I could have used a little bit more of your face, DaJuan.
Well, there are more of my face.
For me.
But can you see that one? That one's the Bosch cookies.
Yeah, here's to a sweet pilot season. Cool.
I can't believe you're giving away your secret on this podcast right now.
Listen, you know what? I don't believe that it's just mine for me, you guys. Like, I feel like we have to share our stuff, right? Like, it's not fair for me to just keep this to myself, right? And I mean, if you guys go start sending cookies, they're going to be like, oh, you talked to DaJuan? So hopefully you guys will do your own thing. So I'll close that out for you. Let me figure out.
Nice, man. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And when you share, sharing that when you were talking about earlier how you were like something that you did differently was like acting, pumping up the show, treating it like a lead right from the very beginning. That was during a time when Amazon was trying to gain like viewership and market share. So I bet that really made a difference. Yeah.
Well, that was when we were in season 1, season 2 around there when they didn't have Prime Video, the little icon or app, right? Mm-hmm. And so like you would go to Amazon.com to watch Bosch, but you're like, oh, my mom would be like, all right, I'm going to come watch it. And I'm like, all right, go to Amazon.com, look for, and she's like, oh yeah. And then she's like, toilet paper. And mom, did you watch? No, but I got a lot of toilet paper.
They used to just sell books, but.
That's funny.
And in our final 5-6 minutes.
I have a couple questions. I just have one or two. But,
all right, Aaron, go.
Why don't you let Aaron talk, Austin?
Well, he'll get one. We'll see how one goes, then we'll see.
Fuck. Okay, well, watching your reel, this was something I thought was cool. You did a scene on some show on USA, I think, with Katherine Heigl, and that's a big name actress. I was wondering, because a lot of times you hear like
Suits.
I don't know what show it was.
Suits.
It was a Suits. Okay, but Katherine Heigl was is a big time actress. And oftentimes you hear people telling like, "Oh, this is my experience working with her." Did you have a good experience working with Katherine?
Yeah, so I mean that's one of those things that like since the industry is so small, like of course like they're gonna be like, don't say it, because you don't want to, I don't want to jinx that, so I'm not gonna say anything about anybody I've worked with like that.
So you had a great experience. That's what we wanted to know.
I did. No, it's not a bad experience. I think what we forget is like as a guest star coming to their show, like our job is to go there. I'm sorry, I went to Toronto to shoot that. That's when it's our job, or wherever you're going across the street, to go there, do a great job, leave, and and then you just leave. That's it. That's my job. So my experience with her or him or anybody else around there, it doesn't really matter. What matters, because you guys don't see that part. What you see is, what is DaJuan doing? Oh, that was awful acting. Does that make sense? So
it was great acting. I was wondering, like, behind it.
I just don't busy myself with it, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Seth Rogen gave his opinion at the time, so.
Okay. Just joking. Seth Rogen also is a millionaire. So. What's your next question, Aaron?
Austin, you go now.
I just wanted, as we end it, you Think Bigger, I believe is the thing you teach.
Think Bigger Tribe, yeah.
Think Bigger Tribe.
It looked awesome. To me, it looked like a seminar, like a leadership seminar almost.
My summit. I just did a summit.
Oh, is that the same thing as the acting class?
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess tell us a little bit about that, because you've also done a lot for actors in terms of like.
It looks like I'm going to a Grant Cardone leadership seminar.
You're welcome. Was that your full question, Austin? I cut you off. I'm so sorry.
That was. I want to hear about it.
Okay. So one of the things like we were just talking about, I can't believe you're sharing your secrets on about your cookies here, is, there was a part in my life when I was on Bosch, I think it was between season 2 and 3 is when or 1 and 2, between 1 and 2, when I was, did the ABC showcase and I was working, and I had felt that what I was doing, the pursuit I was doing with my career, didn't feel as full. I didn't feel like I was on purpose, like it was a message there. I felt like I was just working for myself. And so I sought out and I was doing meditation, and I was really just asking, to use me. What else is possible out there, for me? And what came is, I love working with actors. I love working with other people. And so I went and got certified to be a life coach. And
that's what it seems like. Yeah, that's.
And so because of like all the stuff that I'd done before, this seemed like a natural progression of where I wanted to go. And I formed Think Bigger Coaching from also my teaching days and stuff. And I just put it all together. And what it is my way to sit with actors, or work with actors, I should say, and send the elevator back down. Because I believe that when I was coming up, if we can use those terms, there weren't a lot of actors who were working, who were sitting down and were just saying, dude, this is what I did. And I remember I've been to the 101 Cafe in Los Angeles by the 101 and Franklin so many times with my actor friends picking my brain. I was like, what if I just did this on a bigger scale? What if I just shined a little bit brighter and got out there? And so that's been my mission for the last 6 years with Think Bigger Coaching, is to continue to work with actors and help them skip the line.
And besides the seminar, is it all one-on-ones, or is it class?
I don't do it's thinkbiggercoaching.com is a I have my own podcast for actors can get actor information. We have like a Think Bigger Summit, what I just put on last week, where it's like Think Bigger Summit, where I bring in 26 speakers and we talk to them individually about how to up level careers, and so actors can tap in. Oh, I want to know about branding. I want to talk about money. I want to talk about casting directors. I want to talk about that, so they can use that stuff to move forward with, or we can do personal one-on-ones or group sessions. I don't personally do that many group sessions right now because I'm on a show, and it just is. I want to make sure that my focus is where I want where I want it to go right now.
But you'll do one-on-ones.
Not now.
Oh, okay.
No.
I thought you were just talking about the group.
Austin really wants a one-on-one. That's why.
Well, groups and one-on-ones are the groups and one-on-ones. I don't do them right now at this
or
season.
acting classes, and there's the summits, then there's next is acting class, and then there's one-on-ones. So it's
great. So the like I do a program that I offer a couple times a year called Self Tapes That Book, because I'm working with actors on Self Tapes That Book. You know what I mean? But that's like a finite, like it's like we're here for 4 or 5 weeks. We're gonna do this, and then I'm gone again. So
that's awesome.
But I have employees that I have that are awesome coaches that work with me that do.
And you're the leader of this, and then you have a bunch of employees. And
sounds weird when you say the leader.
You made it sound like it was a cult. Is it a cult? Is that what you're trying to say? That's what it sounded like too.
I'm trying to. It seems like this business is really scaling. That's what I'm saying.
What's the initiation process like? Is there a mask involved?
No, that wasn't what I was saying. I was saying. It sounds like this is a big operation. It sounds like
it's become bigger. Right? And I think if you want to help people on the scale that I want to help people on, you must become bigger.
But are you the boss? That's what I was asking. Are you the one?
The jefe?
Yeah, the jefe.
Yes, this is I'm the co-founder, and I'm the founder of Think Bigger Coaching. So yeah, I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So most people are coming to check out, me, but I just don't have that time like that anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
To do it, because I am very conscious of, I want to be working on, like, I gotta learn lines. Yeah. There's auditions coming in, so just make sure I can keep that.
For sure. Well, I love it, man.
I just had one more.
You have another question? Go ahead.
I just had one more because, sometimes people feel like, I don't know, sometimes we get guests on who are weird about giving their opinion, but this guy's giving it to us straight. We're in such a pivotal time right now. I was just wondering, Biden or Trump? What do you think?
Oh, that's easy. That's easy for me. And I don't have a problem giving my opinion, because I think the reason is I want people to know, so you know what you're getting. And listen, I'm gonna vote for Biden, like without a shadow of a doubt. Was that my first choice? I would say it's not, but I have absolutely no problem voting for any functioning adult other than somebody that's just my opinion right now. And if you follow me on any social media platform, I'm very you're very aware that this is what I'm going after. I think it becomes a little bit tricky, because as a person who is on a show, I have to be a little bit more selective with my wording, because I'm on a show.
Titus hates Trump, from what I see.
Titus is also the #1 on the series.
Right.
You can't kill Bosch and still have a show called Bosch.
That's true. Yeah. But unless it's about his daughter. They make it the rest of the show about his daughter. I don't know if it's going to be the same.
It's not going to be the same. So I will say this. Yeah. I will say this, Austin, real quick. That's a very important point, that that I, as an actor on that show, I started following and I felt really comfortable as a person on that show to voice my opinion, because I was watching what Titus was doing. You know what I mean? So our lead of the show, and he's not flipping tables or blah, he's really just saying it, strategically and elegantly, and so I followed a lot what Titus has been doing.
So give me a policy, DaJuan, that Biden is pulling for. Give me a policy that, bring me to the Biden team.
I don't have to bring you to the Biden team. I think here's what I think. Okay. You guys can tell me we're going to go into this, so let's jump into it. One of the things that really matter to me, that I think is important, that I think Trump is not doing, I think he is not, we're not even going to talk about people of color, because that's one that is a really big thing for me. Anything that has to do with LGBTQ plus people, that group of people, this guy, this is Trump, if you guys don't know what I'm doing over here, has been maybe one of the most, for me, detrimental people that we've put in the White House for LGBT individuals. Transgender, adoption for gay couples.
Didn't he waved the flag though, right? Didn't Trump wave the LGBT flag? I don't know.
I mean, do you mean with the magic marker that he had wrote in the words LGBT on?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. All right.
No, it's just like, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's okay. But that to me was one of the biggest slaps in the face, right? To like, you're the president of the United States and you magic marker this in here.
Oh, I didn't even like realize that the magic marker thing was a real thing. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so
what I was referring to is when he like waved the LGBTQ flag, the rainbow flag.
We're talking about one and the same thing.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, and then he went back and he took trans rights from them in the military, and then he went back and he did religious freedom and said that gay couples can't adopt. They cannot adopt in because of religious rights. There, like it's a whole system that I think this. Where's the rest of the question? Let's keep going.
I was just wondering the policies that Biden embodies to bring me to his team.
One of the bigger things is also Aaron, Biden's not our president. That's one thing. That's true. This other guy, so everybody's like defend Biden, defend Trump to me. Like defend him over his response on the coronavirus. Biden's not the president. It's like bringing up Hillary. That's like bringing up, why don't we bring up Bill and why don't we bring up Reagan and like all those things? Like we shouldn't have to defend Biden.
Trump sucks. Trump sucks. I agree, but Biden kind of sucks too, right? I just This isn't a lesser of two worlds here for me. This is a place where it's like at the end of the day. I mean, we're in the middle of women's rights reproductive system. Like, we're in the middle of that. And it is such a thing that like, if I don't understand undecided right now, right? I don't understand that whole. I think all women should be able to get an abortion. I think we agree on that. But it seems to me like half of the ladies in the country are Republican. Doesn't like. There's a lot of women who.
Yeah, I can't fight that one. So
you're a good sport. I don't know. I just wanted to throw a couple questions to you. We don't have to get into it. I don't know. You know what? I'm going to vote for Biden, dude.
It's okay. I'm not here to persuade you. I am here to say that when you have a president for me that has taken a hard stance on not mentioning Black Lives Matter, a hard stance on not standing up for a whole section, a whole community, and in my eyes, speaking hate speech to that. I don't care that your finances, not you specifically, I don't care that your 401k has gone up. I don't care that you feel your business is doing better. What becomes a problem for me is that racism isn't off the table for you.
Right.
And for me, with one president, it is clear and cut, and with another, I might have hope and I can hang something on that. You know what I mean? And I want to be very clear. I am not one of those people who is like, I've done very well this year. I'm a very successful Black man in this. I'm not holding that on anybody. I've done really well.
By all metrics, you should be a Republican, but
no.
Just because of just kidding around. Thank you. You're great. Thank you.
Aaron just really wants you.
Aaron likes to bring politics up to every guest and mix it up.
Thank you.
We're always like, man, whatever.
I don't know anything about politics, but I always feel like, I just like to ask about it.
Listen, but you, and on the things of policy, if we're really talking about like, we're going to jump into like healthcare. I think, we haven't heard anything what Trump wants to do with healthcare. We have heard what Biden and them want to do with healthcare. You know what I mean? It might not be to anybody's liking, but we've heard a plan.
I'd gladly vote for Bernie. I'd gladly vote for Bernie.
I'm
saying Bernie.
Yeah, well, Bernie couldn't get the people to come out.
I was a Bernie fan. I was a Bernie fan.
Yeah, we were Bernie fans but Bernie couldn't get the people to come out. Like if Bernie was supposed to have the entire like younger population, none of them showed up.
Yeah, that's true. That was surprising.
And so not really. Like it's like you're hanging your hat on this, and everybody's like that. And I'm like, well, guys, you didn't show up for him. Nobody showed up for that guy. And it's not like everybody was like, yeah, I wanted Kamala and Elizabeth Warren, but
yeah.
So.
It's been fun. Yeah, dude.
Great podcast, man. Appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Big fans of you, DaJuan.
Oh, I appreciate you guys having me on. I apologize for the late thing. I'm gonna go hug my kids.
Do it, man.
Super dad, I hear.
Yeah, too bad I didn't get to see you on Bosch, but another
time,
done? I'm sure. I think so. I don't know.
The director said maybe. The director.
No, Patrick said he's like, I thought I saw you in episode 4, and I was like, nah, man, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know.
DaJuan, talk to him.
I can't say anything.
I don't think. I know. Yeah, I can't say much. So
I can't say anything. I don't know.
It's all right, dude. Don't worry.
No, you were in 702, weren't you?
I was in 701 and 702.
Okay, cool.
I don't think I'm in 03, but
I just have all the scripts here. Yeah. I'll just have to figure out this whole thing here.
Well, when you read them and you get to them, if there's something, you just.
Well, I gotta check it out. I'm shooting on Monday, so.
Dude, there you go.
Nice.
There you go.
Listen, guys, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, man, so fun. And where can people find you on social media?
Yeah,
also,
please.
links to your to Think Bigger Tribe and all that stuff. If they wanted, if they're interested in joining.
I appreciate that. Anywhere you on social media, I'm at DaJuanJohnson.com. Sorry, there's a .com, but at DaJuan Johnson on social media. And if you're interested in the Think Bigger Tribe, it's at Think Bigger Coaching on social media, like Instagram or all that other stuff. So
perfect.
I'd love to have you.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you so much.
We don't talk politics in our groups.
DaJuan, sometimes I just like to throw some stuff out there. Thank you so much.
We don't talk politics.
You were.
I don't
really
mind,
chill.
man, because I don't believe we can stay on the fence right now. There's no chance right now, and we need to I'm okay with speaking my truth right now. And if that turns some people off, then I apologize. But that then means you weren't part of my tribe anyway.
Yeah, I like it.
We love that.
I respect it.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right, you guys.
Thanks,
thank you so
have
much
a great
for having
night,
me.
man. Take care, buddy.
We'll talk soon. All right,
DaJuan.
Bye.
Later.